Okay, applause line. All right, great. We appreciate everyone's patience and goodwill as we work to be able to welcome more of us back to in-person worship as pandemic conditions allow. We strive to be a congregation that welcomes people of all ages, races, religious beliefs, backgrounds, sexual orientations, gender identities, and abilities. We belong to the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations, and we are guided and inspired by its principles and values. Those values and principles move us to remember that we in Northampton inhabit unceded land of the Pecumtuck and Nipmuc peoples. Our values and principles remind us to acknowledge our responsibility to face all the painful legacies of dispossession and systemic racism that are part of our collective history, even as we affirm and celebrate the legacies that inspire us. We're here to support and celebrate one another and to renew ourselves with hope and gratitude and new resolve. If you're new or returning after a time away, welcome. We're very glad you're here. Please feel free to fill out a welcome card. Doing that allows us to put you on the email contact list, and there is a link to the card in the chat, and I'm aware that I'm looking both at people and maybe not at you in Zoomlandia, but there are also blue cards somewhere here that people present could fill out. We ask everyone online to please remain muted throughout the service and turn off your videos except during the greeting in order to help the technology work as smoothly as possible. We hope you'll stay for the Zoom social hour afterwards. It's a great way to engage in meaningful conversations with people you might not otherwise have met. And now we'll begin our service.
No volume. I can just barely hear it. I can't hear the nocturne playing.
Come, come, whoever you are, with your hurts, your imperfections, your places that feel raw and exposed. Come, come, whoever you are, with your strengths the world shudders to hold, with your wild imaginings of a better world, with your hopes that it seems no one wants to hear. We will make a place for you. We will build a home together. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come.
Please rise in body or spirit, at home or right here in the Great Hall, to say the words accompanying the lighting of our chalice. Today, we make space for a new breath, a new possibility, forged in the fire of our coming together, felt in the spirit that comes alive in this act of faith, that we believe a new world is possible, that we are creating it already, here and now. And now please remain standing if you like and join in singing our first hymn.
Come, come, whoever you are, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Ours is no caravan of despair. Ours is no caravan, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Ours is no caravan of despair. Ours is no yet again come. Come, yet again come. I haven't had to do that in 18 months.
Good morning, everyone here and at home. It's great to be in a space with real human beings. All right, this is a little tricky. Okay, so we actually have two stories for you today. We're going to do a story within a story. And I'm finding them both to be very comforting right now because I'm feeling a little nervous, and it's very different to be in the space all together again. And I'm imagining some of these books will resonate with a lot of you. First one is Wemberly Worried by Kevin Henkes. Wemberly worried about everything. On her birthday, Wemberly worried that no one would come to her party. See, this is the best present ever. I wish I had my birthday. I wish I had my birthday today. But then Wemberly worried that there wouldn't be enough cake. Soon, Wemberly had a new worry, school. Wemberly worried about the start of school more than anything she had ever worried about before. I wonder if any of you have had that experience recently. By the time the first day arrived, Wemberly had a long list of worries. What if no one else has spots? What if no one else wears stripes? What if no one else brings a doll? What if the teacher is mean? What if the room smells bad? What if they make fun of my name? What if I can't find the bathroom? What if I hate the snack? What if I have to cry? Well, Wemberly's mom decided maybe a picture book would help. And I have to say, I always agree that picture books help. And so she took down All Are Welcome by Alexandra Penfold and Suzanne Kaufman and shared a little bit from that book. All are welcome. No matter how you start your day, what you wear when you play, or if you come from far away, all are welcome here. In our classroom, safe and sound, fears are lost and hope is found. Raise your hand, we'll go around. All are welcome here. Gather now, let's all take part. We'll play music, we'll make art, which is some of what we'll do today with the RE classes. We'll share stories from the heart. All are welcome here. Open doors, rush outside. We will swing, we will slide. We'll have fun side by side. All are welcome here. We're part of a community. Our strength is our diversity. A shelter from adversity. All are welcome here. So much to learn, so much to do, and when the busy day is through, can't wait to come back, start anew. All are welcome here. And with that, Wemberly thought, well, I guess I'll give it a shot. If I'm gonna feel welcome, I've gotta at least try it and see. When she arrived at school, Wemberly's parents talked to the teacher, Mrs. Peacham, and Wemberly looked around the room. Then Mrs. Peacham said, Wemberly, there's someone I think you should meet. Her name was Jewel. She was standing by herself, and she was wearing stripes. She was holding a doll, much like Wemberly's. At first, Wemberly and Jewel just peeked at each other. This is Petal, said Wemberly. This is Niblet, said Jewel. Petal waved. These are the stuffed animals. Niblet waved back. Hi, said Petal. Hi, said Niblet. I rub her ears, said Wemberly. I rub her nose, said Jewel. Throughout the morning, Wemberly and Jewel sat side by side and played together when they could. Petal and Niblet sat side by side too. Wemberly worried, but no more than usual, and sometimes even less. Before Wemberly knew it, it was time to go home. Come back tomorrow, called Mrs. Peacham as the students walked out the door. Wemberly turned and smiled and waved. I will, she said. Don't worry. And those are our stories for today.
And now, let's sing together, Morning Has Broken, which is, the words are on the screen, and also if you want to use the hymnal, that's fine too.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word. The fall sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where God's feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light Eden saw play. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of a new day.
Good
Now
morning.
it's time for us to greet one another. Those of you in the hall, please turn and wave hello to each other. You may have said hello to each other outside. And those of you online, please turn on your videos and wave hello if you'd like to. You can turn on gallery view to see everybody. And if you want to put a little message in the chat, we'll do our best to read a few of them out loud. Guess we still have some technical details to work out, so thank you to those who are letting us know what's happening. We have more screens going on. It's wonderful to see all of you, all you people on the screen, and it's fun for people in the hall to see. Is it fun to see all the faces on the screens? Yeah. So that's a way that we're together, although we're not quite ready to show you the hall, but we're working on it. So it's wonderful to see everyone. Thank you all for being here on this beautiful, beautiful day. And now we will bring the greeting to a close and sing out everyone who is going to go to religious education activities, to do art and a nature walk, or just a walk. So, Jessica, you can follow Jessica out, and we'll sing you out now. Go now in peace, go now in peace, may the Spirit of love surround you.
May the Spirit of love surround you
may go.
everywhere.
Go now in
you
peace,
may
go now in peace.
To everywhere, everywhere you may go.
There he is. You look like a bookseller.
He plays one on TV.
Oh, you should probably put your mask on. Well, I don't care. Do
I
whatever
can
you
take
want.
my mask off.
Okay. You can take your mask off. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Good morning. I'm Rich West, and this is the Social Justice Minute, which recognizes that our faith calls us powerfully to action on social justice and the environment. Today, on the Society's front lawn, we are holding a book sale whose whole proceeds will go to two organizations that we have been supporting for the past 10 years in Haiti. One is Hands Up for Haiti, which operates a medical clinic in Bodme-Limbe, a village to the west of Cap-Haïtien, Haiti's northernmost city. Hands Up for Haiti provides much-needed pre- and postnatal care, which helps reduce problem pregnancies. They significantly address malnutrition by distributing high-calorie, high-nutrition meals for children. And they have begun educating women there about birth control, a very sensitive topic in a predominantly Catholic country. The other organization we support is the SEMA School of Hope, just to the east of Cap-Haïtien. It currently is educating 300 impoverished girls and boys who otherwise wouldn't attend school. The school also provides employment opportunities for the parents. In the past 10 years, the Society has assisted these two organizations with gifts of more than $20,000, all due to the generosity of this caring congregation. So I invite you after the service to please come buy a book or two so that we may continue to help bring small but meaningful change to our neighbors to the south. We'll be here till 1 o'clock today. Thanks a lot.
Our generosity makes everything we do possible, and it helps support organizations and movements in the greater community. Half of the proceeds of each week's offering support the Society's operating budget, and half are shared outside our walls. Coordinating council attendees at the meeting on October 4th will choose organizations for us to support between now and the end of the calendar year. Everyone is welcome to attend that meeting. We aim to balance our support of local concerns and organizations with those that have wider range. Please consider nominating an organization that you feel reflects our Society's values, principles, and areas of social justice focus. You can see the Sunday Times or for more information, or are welcome to contact Mary Price, Steve Kramer, Jessica, or Janet Bush. Contributions now may be made online, and the links are in the chat. Thank you for your gifts, and now we'll enjoy the offertory music.
Our meditation comes from a poem titled "The Door" by Robert Creeley. It is hard going to the door cut so small in the wall, where the vision which echoes loneliness brings a scent of wild flowers in a wood. What I understood, I understand. My mind is sometime torment, sometimes good and filled with livelihood, and feels the ground. But I see the door, and knew the wall, and wanted the wood, and would get there if I could, with my feet and hands and mind.
Life, come unto me, sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the
Continuing the door theme. This is called Open Up the Doors to Possibility, and it was written by Linda Susan Ulrich, who is a UU minister who started last year as the minister at the UU Church of New Haven, which is in Hamden, Connecticut. She writes, "Open up the doors. Push on looming wooden arches embroidered with ironwork. Brace shoulders against the weight of history unmoved. Slough off the musty smell of unused joy and stored up sorrow. Knock rust off the hinges if you have to. And let your breath precede you inside. Open the doors more. Make room for a shaft of sunlight to cross the threshold. Give the dust motes something to dance about. Peek through a single slice of possibility and name even the half-hidden truths you see. Open the doors wider still. Pour yourself through the gap. Strut or sneak or sidle as suits you best. Cleanse whatever scrapes catch your skin and bind up the wounds that keep you from entering whole. Open the doors as far as they will go. Draw on the strength of the stones beneath you. Ground yourself in a firm sense of who you are. Stand as a beacon, welcoming the next seeker, and shine far beyond the lintel and sill. Open all that you are. Heighten and deepen your connections to the world around you. Broaden your definition of neighbor. Grow into the largest target for grace that you can muster. And pray to become a gateway for even greater love and compassion. Open up the doors, my friends. Now let's sing together a hymn we haven't sung in a long time, number 300, with Heart and Mind.
With heart and mind and voice and hand, may we this time and place transcend, to make our purpose understood. A mortal search for mortal good, a firm commitment to the goal of justice, freedom, peace for all. A mind that's free to the truth, a mind that's free in age and youth, to choose a path no threat impedes, wherever light of conscience leads. Our martyrs died so we could be a church where every mind is free. A heart that's kind, a heart whose search makes love the spirit of our church, where we can grow and each one's gift is sanctified and spirits lift, where every door is open wide for all who choose to step inside.
So turn your mind's eye to an image of a door. We have some pictures of doors. That first one was Edward Hopper's painting from a series called Rooms by the Sea. And it shows this, all right, improbable door opening right out onto the sea. Can you picture yourself diving in? At the art gallery many years ago. And shortly after I saw it, it disappeared from the gallery walls, and a friend of mine started a protest because he learned that it was hanging in the living room wall of the university president. It stayed on the president's wall. His protest accomplished absolutely nothing. But I think of the picture whenever I think of that picture and associate with my friend who's an artist and then eventually an art curator. And thinking of the painting or seeing it takes me to a place of adventure and joy, and it makes me smile. And Hopper's name for that painting in his notebooks was The Jumping Off Place. Jan Nettler took the picture of the wooden gate. That was the next picture. That is in a village not far from our partner village of Home Road Karchenfalva in Transylvania. And it's called a Székely Gate. The Székely are Hungarian-speaking residents of Transylvania, many of them descendants of 16th century Unitarians. And the wood carving is a traditional folk art of that region. Then there are the doors in Lewis Carroll's Alice stories, the rabbit hole that she plunges down following the white rabbit, and the door that she has grown too large to go through. And the final picture is one that I took when we were visiting South Africa in 2016. It shows the prison cell where Nelson Mandela lived for 18 years on Robben Island off the coast of Cape Town, South Africa. So many kinds of doors, open or closed. They can represent or offer possibility, or they can invite the unknown. A closed door may be closed to keep someone out, or as in prison, to lock someone in. And an open door is one that can welcome or let in the fresh air. In our own lives, we don't always choose to open our doors. Sometimes, depending on the season, we keep the door closed to protect ourselves from the heat or from the cold. Sometimes we just don't want to open a door for fear of what might be on the other side. And Hank's little mouse character, Wemberly, faces big closed doors on that first day of school. As Jessica read to us, she's a worrier. She says, "What's going to happen to me? Will I be safe?" In Jessica's and my version of the story, Wemberly's mother reads her a picture book about somebody else's first day where all are welcome. And her first day turns out just fine. So Wemberly's first day turns out fine, I think, because the teacher really knows how to make her feel welcome. Somehow she sees her for what she is, or maybe the parents have clued her in a little bit. A scared little girl clutching a stuffed animal. So maybe the teacher's experienced, maybe she's been taught about and has practiced responding to and recognizing different children's strengths and needs. Maybe she even had training in multicultural competency. I'm guessing that the teacher in the other story, with all those children from different places, must have had some of that kind of training and experience. All are welcome. We want that to be true. We want it to be true for everyone in our congregational community, for ourselves and for other people. We want to say it and we want to mean it. And we'd like to know how to make every person who crosses our threshold, a virtual threshold or the actual one, whether they are coming through for the first time or the 500th, how do we make each other, help each other feel welcome? We sang just a minute or two ago, a heart that's kind, a heart whose search makes love the spirit of our church, where we can grow, and each one's gift is sanctified and spirits lift, where every door is open wide for all who choose to step inside. Kimberly DeBoo, I think that's how you pronounce her name, is a UU minister who has a very useful website where she has accumulated blog posts along with the lyrics and then her commentary on just about all of our UU hymns. So it's a fabulous place to get lyrics that can be then pasted into a slide. I don't know what I'd do without her website. And she said this about that hymn. She said, as I'm going through this section in the hymnal entitled The Life of Integrity, somehow I'm not getting it all bored like I have with other sections of our hymnal. I'm looking at you, Christmas. It's not surprising, as our universalism calls us to love the world to pieces. And as I scan back through a few years of services, it seems that one of these hymns from this category shows up easily 75% of the time. I admit I'm now feeling a little guilty for using them too much. But maybe they are filled with the messages most worth repeating. They say we only really preach one sermon after all. And she says what she likes about the hymn and others in that same section is that there's both an openness and an urgency to the message that liberal religion confers not only benefit, but also responsibility. Being part of a liberal religious community carries not only benefits, but also responsibilities. Another colleague, the Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, who is a professor at the Stars King School for the Ministry in San Francisco, writes, there is an inherent goodness that exists between and among us, and I want, she says, to honor the weary, ragged miracle that is our living tradition. That ragged miracle of our liberal religious tradition includes the universalism that envisions a loving, forgiving God and that calls us to love the world. It includes a long history of belief that a new world is possible. Ours is a tradition that honors and remembers the renegade 19th century abolitionist, activist, and preacher Theodore Parker, and I can't help telling people every time I mention him, it is from Parker that the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. borrowed that image of the moral arc of the universe bending towards justice. Our Unitarian Universalist tradition is one that embraces each individual's right to a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. It's a tradition that calls for justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. It's one that asks us to honor, respect, and protect our living earth, the interdependent web of existence of which we are a part. And this is so important in each of our individual congregations and communities, our tradition makes a place for personal connections, for cherishing the children in our midst, for celebrating each other's joys and supporting each other in our trials. And there are times, perhaps like the one we're in right now, when we long maybe mainly for that last piece, the personal connections, celebrating each other and supporting one another in our trials. And I know how grateful so many of us are for this congregation during this time, despite the fact that we cannot all be together. This month, we're focusing on the theme of possibility. And a dozen or so people met online on Friday night to connect and talk about possibilities for making a difference as we face the discouraging and daunting challenges that face us in our country and in the greater world. There's a lot going on that people can join in small ways and bigger ways. This year, many of us here in the congregation will be engaging with the UUA report called Widening the Circle. It invites us to explore how Unitarian Universalism can adapt and evolve during these times where, as someone sang 60 years ago, the times are a-changin'. It invites us to look critically at our practices of welcome, inclusion, and innovation, and we're excited to work together on examining our values and on how to face the challenges and possibilities of keeping Unitarian Universalism a living faith. Several of our board members are on the team that's leading the work. The first conversations are next week, one on Sunday afternoon, which they're hoping to do outside, if weather permits, and then the following Wednesday by Zoom. And these are just a few of the trends that the report talks about that are kind of a jumping off point for us to talk about a lot of these issues. Across the country, attendance and membership in religious institutions of all kinds, all faiths, is falling dramatically. We are becoming very much a secular nation. The demographics of our nation have changed and are changing, and with them, expectations around cultural competency and cultural humility. New generations face a much bleaker future than those who are now at the end of their careers or in retirement. UU congregations do attract a greater diversity of people, and they retain a very small percentage of those who don't match this is a quote from the report, resourced white aging majority within most of these congregations. And they say, in these searing times of political division, climate change, economic polarization, and global strife, people need a sustaining faith. To offer that faith to others, we need a change, some changes, at the personal and interpersonal levels, and most of all, we need to make systemic changes that can be ongoing and lasting. So that sounds a bit daunting, maybe. And our work this year, our conversations, will be around grappling with some of the trends, asking ourselves how we want to respond and adapt, or maybe just taking them in as a start. Asking ourselves, for example, when you or I use the word we, to whom consciously or unconsciously are we referring? What does our congregation and our faith have to offer people who haven't found us yet? And what do we all need to learn? And what can we teach each other in order to be able to offer our faith community in a way that feels genuine and welcoming? I think it's true, it's more true than ever that the miracle of this faith tradition and the powerful gift of caring community deserve to be shared. We need one another more than ever for care and comfort, for inspiration, and to find new strength and resolve. And there are other people who do not know us yet who need that too. So I hope many of you will join in these conversations. They're going to be once a month. They're going to be on different topics and in different forums, and we'll see what works. I hope many of you will join in the conversation sponsored by the Widening the Circle team and embrace the exploration along with us. And I hope that, in Linda Susan's words, we may open all that we are. We may heighten and deepen our connections to the world around us. We may broaden our definition of neighbor. We may grow into the largest target for grace that we can muster, and pray to become a gateway for even greater love and greater compassion. Let's sing together hymn number 131, Love Will Guide Us.
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way. On the road from greed to giving, love will guide us through the dark night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way. On the road from greed to giving, love will guide us through the dark night.
Love will guide us. Go into this beautiful day. Go in hope and go in peace.